Why I say that is because it allows you to be less emotional. And how? Because once you take that first trim, all that psychological pressure just weighs off of you. Just trading with one contract, or you're trying to sell all your contracts at one go, then you're basically doing all for nothing. It's like an all for nothing trade. Can you explain? Can't see the nodes on the weekends. Can you explain GX? So GX is basically, all right, so someone asked a question here that I want to touch on. Maybe some of you guys are confused. What GX is, for some of you guys that don't know, it's a tool provided to you by TradeEcho. It just helps you see the dealer flow. Like, what are the dealers, the big money, looking at, right? So when there's big positive green nodes, that's bullish. When there's red GX, that's bearish. Typically, price can fall through those levels. So it's another way to look at support and resistance, right? Like some magnets. Let's keep it simple. That's the way I look at it. That's the way to look at it. Right here, literally. Positive GX, support levels, price stabilization. Negative gamma, negative GX, volatility zones, price acceleration. So when it's negative, price can just slice through those price levels. I mean, yeah, the candles, you can say, can just slice through those price levels. When it's positive, it can get a little sticky. There can be a lot of support. That's something that you want to pay attention to, especially when you're in puts or even if you're taking calls. If there's a big node here, like it can be support. If price is approaching it from below, it can become resistance. Some way to look at it. So that kind of explain what GX is. Okay. So that kind of explain what GX is. I hope it did. Now back to what we're speaking on, trimming. So if you're sizing with one contract, or you're trying to sell all your contracts at one go, what I think is that I don't really like that the way I trade, because you're just going all for one. You're going all for one. Either you're going to take the whole 30% hit, or you're going to sell too early at 30%, whatever, for whatever reason, when the trade could have kept running. You can see prices is literally approaching here. But say this, say you take 5 contracts, right? Say you take 5 contracts, 5. Pretend we're trading SPX. Of course, we can't see right now, but pretend this is SPX. I took 5 SPX contracts. So now we're entering this zone here. I typically would trim 3. Look, I'll typically would sell 3 of my contracts now that this TP hit. Now, if it breaks through, the next area I would trim is the last resort of support here, right here. Right here, 67,300. Now you may ask, why is this the last level of support right here? Why is this the last level of support? Because if you can see, based on what we drew out, if this level breaks right here, where's our next area of support? It's not all the way to down here. So there's a probability that price gets down here. The only thing holding from price getting down here is this last line of support right here. And you can see the chart is playing out perfectly how we drew it out. I said price is going to go down. Now what we do here in this scenario, right? Now what we do here in this scenario, wow, that would have been a crazy put in real time. Well, what we would do here in this scenario is I would be out. If I took 5 contracts, I would have trimmed 3 here, I would have trimmed 1 here, and I would have kept 1 runner until my target hit. Now, typically, I don't think it's really realistic because you have to look. This is where we use the dealer edge, right? So we use dealer edge to kind of see these nodes, and typically you'll see some positive gamma nodes around these levels before we get into here, and that's when I'll typically look to trim. So if I'm having 5 contracts, I trim 3 here. This would probably be like 40%. So boom, I lock in 40% profit. runners, and say your runners don't stop out, you get huge gains, right? If for whatever reason price gets down here, this would be a 4x potential trade on SPX, depending on theta, all these things. So now you can see one runner can pay a lot more than your first trim. So did that make sense to you guys? Now you guys kind of